we recording? Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a... We are the Mrs. and a Mike. 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 Oh, that was a good one. I know, girl. I got into that one.
Hi, guys. You are such a hater.
Because you always do it perfectly. I had to mess you up. I'm sorry. Go take it away.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Mrs. and a Mike podcast. This is CJ.
It's Al.
And Bree. I'm sorry. I'm still laughing. Apologies.
Hi. Goodness, really, Miss Bree?
But you always do it so perfectly. I had to throw a little wrench in there. I'm one of those people that just like to watch the world burn sometimes, okay? Sorry.
Gasp.
Sorry. Anywho, so how have we been? How's everybody doing?
Good. I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you?
Share? I'm wonderful.
Good.
Something you want to share, CJ?
You can go first.
I can go first. Okay. So there is a famous person from New Orleans who's going through a little relationship issue right now. Not gonna say who or anything like that, but that person to me is oversharing their relationship on the internet. And so you have that going on. And then at the same time, my sister Solange, I can call her my sister because Beyonce's my other sister, so obviously Solange will be my sister, announced to everybody that she and her husband separated. Now, mind you, she announced this now, so the end of the year, that she and her husband were separated at the beginning of the year. And nobody knew nothing. And I feel like, yes, that's how it's supposed to go. We only supposed to want to know what you want to tell us. We're not supposed to know all the ins and outs and ups and downs and all your business and everything that happened and every argument and what he said and what you said. I just feel like that's messy. And you gotta know people are only watching for entertainment. Mm-hmm. They're not watching because they rooting for you. They're watching because they have popcorn. You know what I mean? I just want sis, because I feel like this particular person we're talking about, she's better than that. And she should want more for herself. And she's leveled up in life. So it's you should be past that.
I'm dying to know who this is.
I'm going to tell you off mic because, I don't get sued. I also don't want to add to because there's YouTube
add
videos.
Fuel to the fire.
And all of this stuff. She's on all the gossip
you know who
and
it
stuff.
is?
And I'm just and it's crazy, the stuff that people are saying. Who knows if it's true? It doesn't matter, but it's associated with your name now. You know, I just feel like she should just shut it down, keep her hand close up her circle some, because everybody not your friend, and then keep her mind on her money and her money on her mind. Shout out, but that's been on my heart because I'm rooting for sis, but I'm a little disappointed right now. I'm sure some people listening know who I'm talking about. It's just funny that y'all don't.
Yeah, because I'm really thinking
Well, if you listen to our social media episode, you know that I very rarely post on social media. Mm-hmm. And if I am on there, it's probably a quick 5-minute scroll. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
But see, the other thing about that is because you're because I had good intentions with following her, I could recognize that I felt like she was oversharing, but I didn't use that against her in any way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But some people were watching her come up in the fact that she felt like I'm going to bring everybody with me by sharing my journey so much. They're using that against her, and everybody's her friend and everybody knows her. And it almost gives credence to the rumors and the lies and stuff, because it's you co-sign them by, claiming everybody and everybody's your friend and everybody from the city knows you and also, you know what I mean? Not to say that I'm not trying to say you have to be a celebrity that never shares anything, but certainly be in control of the narrative and keep your hand close is all I'm saying, especially when it comes to your relationship. and they've been getting a little vicious, and she has kids. And I just keep thinking, like, your kids can see that later. And their friends can see it and make fun of them at school, or even just asking them about it. It can be embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just messy.
So you're just happy that there is an example of a celebrity who is able to keep their life private.
Yes, absolutely. Now, granted, Solange doesn't share quite as much as I would personally like her to share, because I'm always fascinated by just people in general's lives. Like, I read autobiographies all the time. Like, I'm fascinated by people's lives. But I also know that when you open the door to the decent people like myself, hopefully, you open the door to the bad people too, who are going to exploit that and use it against you. And so to me, it's just safer to just really be in control of what's shared and in control of your own narrative and, like, just keep it close. You know what I mean? I mean, she's notorious for not really sharing. Her sister barely shares on social media, you know. We don't even really get, like, paparazzi pictures of Beyonce. I'm like, how you pull that off? She got
like never. Like, I've seen, like, one.
Yeah, like, it's rare. And it's only at, like, a big event that we knew she was going to
Right,
anyways.
right.
You know? Like, we know she drops her kids off at school every day, but we don't never see it.
You got enough money.
They might have a tunnel, like, under the state of California. That they
got built.
Yep.
Just for them.
Never know.
I'm gonna get a tunnel.
Well, we are officially in holiday season, so that makes me happy.
Oh, you stole mine.
Go ahead, Elle. Take it away. Take it
that's
away.
all I was going to say. I'm just super excited. It's going to be my baby's first holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're getting ready to decorate.
Can we dress her up like a little turkey?
Oh, that'd be so cute.
And the weather is cooler
outside. It's getting cooler. Yeah, so I'm super excited about the holidays.
Not gonna lie, I've already started with the Christmas music.
Yeah, Christmas music,
I have
hot
not
chocolate.
done that just yet. I don't like feeling as if I'm rushing the holidays along, so I will not start Christmas music for a while.
So after Thanksgiving?
But I have started Christmas shopping.
So I'm kind of like that. Like, I don't want to, like, jump the gun, but I couldn't help myself. Mariah Carey came up, and I was like, so I just couldn't help it. Like, I was like, ooh.
I think for me, having a baby now just makes me even more excited. So I'm like, oh, let's do it.
Let me save you from yourself, because nobody saved me from mine. She don't know it's Christmas.
Not at all.
You do not need to go ham with the gifts yet.
Yeah.
Okay? Because nobody told me that. When my first one and my second one, it was their first Christmas, and I just had, like, a little sack of potatoes that was the baby, like, propped up next to all this shit I bought that I really didn't need to, because the kid didn't know what was going on. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, my first Christmas as a mom, my son ate the bows. So
sounds about right. I think I bought one of them, like a Power Wheels, and he would have been 5 months.
I remember that. I was
I had to actually hold him up in the rain.
I was like, when is he gonna use it? He has a while to go.
Listen, I was excited. Okay,
That's too funny. I figured we're gonna buy her things that she kind of needs, like, 3-month-old type stuff that we were gonna buy anyway.
That's fine. Yeah,
but it'll be wrapped under the tree.
Just don't get ahead of yourself, because I got it, and it was unnecessary. So I'm saying. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm extra. Y'all had to know I was gonna, but looking back, maybe I could have
pulled it back a little bit.
Because that wasn't his only gift.
Right.
That was just a big one. But anywho.
All right. So today we are talking about spicing it up.
No. That was my spicy sound. That wasn't my spicy sound.
That was a good
Chelsea, cut that out. They didn't like that. Just cut it. They didn't like it. Yeah, that was spicy. What if I start doing colors of my mouth, spice up your life?
That came into my head as soon as we said that.
Can I just tell y'all how I feel shitted on by the Spice Girls that they didn't come here on their reunion tour? Because we were big fans. We were buying merch. I went to London when they were hot and bought them stupid platform shoes and couldn't walk in them. Yes. Scary Spice, that was your fault. Where's my concert, Melanie?
Yeah.
Anyways, So back to the topic.
So I think this is an important topic, regardless of how long you've been together, because it's something you constantly have to do. I think it's easy for relationships to get stale and things to fall off, and you periodically have to, bring something in, right? Make things exciting and reinvent things. So we want to talk about that. But go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm sure we're gonna talk about like the sexual implications of spicing things up, but that's not all we mean.
Yeah, no, not at all.
We are also talking about like, putting the fun
back
into, you know what I mean? Like the fun dates and the excitement and the adventure, like that kind of stuff is also very important and the spice of the relationship.
Right. So my first question is, how can you tell the relationship is getting stale?
So I battle with this a lot. Y'all probably don't, because y'all look like y'all have nice, spicy marriages. But mine, it's been a little stale lately with the kids and work and stay-at-home mom stuff. It feels like you're in a rut. It feels like every day is the same. Even though every day is not the same, it feels the same. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know, okay, we got to shake stuff up. This is headed down a boring path and stuff. So when I start to get that feeling like yesterday is today and today is tomorrow and nothing's different and this is where I can put my clock by and this is what we're gonna do and nothing exciting's happening, then I'm like, okay, what can I do to spice it up? What about you, Elle?
Kind of the same. I kind of feel that you're saying that now, like I'm feeling that now, like with, staying at home with the baby. It's kind of like this day is like that day. And it's just all kind of running together. I'm like, wait, what day is it?
Speaking of the baby.
So yeah, that's kind of the same with me. Like when it's just kind of, you're just moving along,
methodical,
just kind of living, just going.
Yeah.
Not really.
Like you're not driving the boat. You're just on for the ride.
Right.
Yeah.
I think another thing for me is when I start to feel like other things are running the relationship. So work schedules or other people's social calendars or the kids and their schedule is dictating what happens in our relationship, as opposed to us having time to spend together and connect. It's like we just see each other at bedtime, like, oh, good night, that type of thing. Then I start to feel like something needs to change.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just when you start to feel, it's a feeling more so than like a particular thing that's happening. It's just when you start to feel like a monotony.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's not necessarily a checklist.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and for me, it's kind of like when you start feeling like you're kind of roommates.
Yes.
You kind of just living together.
I've used that term before, where it's like we're roommates and not a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're existing in the same space and everything, but you're not really like enjoying time together.
When you start to feel like that, how do you bring up the conversation?
Pause. Do you need to bring up a conversation, or can you just shake it up on your own?
It's a good question. I guess it is a good question. Maybe you feel like that and maybe you want to be spontaneous, but...
Can I tell y'all a story? So once I felt like, and I think I told this on the podcast before, once I felt like things were kind of boring and I wanted to spice it up. Now this is like a sexual implication. So I was like, okay, we're going to role play. I'm not going to tell him though. I'm just going to, get in character and we'll keep it moving. So my character was supposed to be like the damsel in distress whose car had broken down on the side of the road, right? And I knocked on his door to use the phone and then things were supposed to go from there, right? So I went somewhere and I planned when I came back to not park in the driveway, obviously, because, I'm supposed to be stranded on the side of the road. So I parked like a little bit up the street, and I walked. And you laughing because you know my husband and you probably know this didn't go well. So I walked to the house and I ring the doorbell, which is also odd because, you have a key. And he answers the door after a while because he probably was just thinking, I don't know why the hell she ringing the doorbell. She got a key. Speaking of doorbells.
Perfect timing, right?
That's crazy.
That was good, Chauncey. I like that sound effect. Anywho, so that's what happened. So he opened the door. And I said, hi, I'm sorry to bother you. My car broke up the street, and I was just wondering if I could borrow your phone. And he said, baby, what the hell wrong with the car?
What happened to the car?
I was like, you just killed it. You didn't pick up on the hints that I didn't know who you were by the way I was talking, and I rang the doorbell. And he was like, listen, you said something wrong with the car. I didn't see the car outside. I'm thinking something happened. I need to go get the car. So maybe you do need to have a conversation is my point before,
Right.
even though me personally, I would just jump into trying to spice it up on my own.
Right. And I think, too, it depends on whether or not spicing it up involves the other person's active input. If it's something you can do,
Like for them.
right, for them. But if it's something where they have to be actively involved,
Like my role play idea.
they should probably know
You might want
about
to be
it.
informed. Yeah.
But see, but this is the other thing about my husband. Is if I had told him, he would have participated, but he would have gone overboard. Like he would have answered the door like with no shirt, like Fabio or something, and been like, hello, I see you are in trouble. You need my help. And I wouldn't have been able to keep it together. So then it would have just died anyways. Like that's
But wouldn't that have made you feel good knowing he was enthusiastic about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the end, when I told him what was going on, we had a good laugh. And that kind of accomplished
Yeah.
putting a little fun into it a
Yeah.
little bit. I mean, it didn't accomplish the whole, sexy time thing, but it was fun, and it was a break from the norm.
Right.
So even your blunders can still be successful.
Right. So there should be a conversation, possibly, if you want them to be.
If they have to, like you said,
Be
be actively
actively
involved. But
involved.
if it's something you want to do for them, then maybe you can just try it on your own.
And
'Cause
surprise them.
nice surprises, if your partner's somebody who likes surprises, nice surprises can be nice,
Mm-hmm.
What if there is this conversation and your partner doesn't agree that things need to be spiced up?
I would say that the fact that one of you feels that way is enough for both of you to try to do something to fix it. So
Yeah, I agree.
your partner may not agree that it needs to be spiced, but he or she should also feel like, but what can I do to help?
Right.
You
You to
feel-
make it feel like
right.
it's more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel like there are times where you're not on the same page where you're like, what do you mean we need to be spiced up? Everything's going perfectly.
Right.
What do you mean? Like,
Right. I'm
So-
plenty spicy over
Right.
here.
I'm a
Right.
chalupa.
I'm not spiced.
I'm
Yeah, so-
Chipotle.
So yeah.
I got hot sauce on my burrito, baby. Mhm. Oh, R.I.P. to John Witherspoon. But anyways, yeah. So back to what I was saying. Yeah. So I agree that maybe you do need to have a conversation, but only if they need to play their part in the role play.
Right. But we're saying even if we talk about it and only one person feels that it needs to be spiced up, the other person should still accommodate them.
Right.
Or even if it's not so much that they have to participate in it. I meant to say this earlier, but if it's something like that's pretty big that you want to do, because I know one time I felt like things were kind of just and so I planned a trip, and I paid for the trip and then surprised him and everything with the trip, but also that could have gone really left, and it almost did at a lot of points. So, it might have been easier. And he would have been on board.
Right.
It might have been easier if I would have just told him, even if I had still planned it all, but just told him, like, hey, this is how I've been feeling. So this is what I did. I just want to let you know, that kind of thing. Because, I called his job, took the time off for him and everything.
Oh, wow.
Girl,
Okay.
I had it down.
You did that.
Right?
I was like, I win the year for
Yes.
this one.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it could have been equally as successful to spice things up if I had kind of brought him into the loop with that.
Mm-hmm.
is
I
what I'm
gotcha.
saying. So, yes.
Okay. So then what do we do? What are some things we can do to make things a little spicier?
So the easy answer to me is to just break the routine.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't have to be a surprise vacation. It literally can be every night. He comes home at 6:30. I cook dinner. We eat at 7:30. Then we read bedtime stories. We do bath time with the kid. Like, bust that up. Be like, we are going out. Or I found a sitter and I ordered us takeout or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just break the routine, I think, is the first short thing. Now, if y'all are really in a rut, then it might take a little more than that. But just, kind of shaking up the bag.
Yeah.
And I say it's important to know yourself and know what types of things will shake it up for you.
In case anybody is wondering, that is the sound of the ambulance come to take me away, because the sight of you ladies just stopped my heart.
Okay.
Was that not funny? Oh my God.
What?
See, sometimes you might try to spice up things and people just don't understand. Anyways, that's what you're saying.
Know yourself and know what it will take. Because I also think it's pointless to do things that will not, just will not be exciting for you. So knowing yourself is really important in this before we even start these ideas on what we should and shouldn't do. For instance, one example was to work out together. Okay.
That ain't spicy to me.
That the two of you should find an activity, and not even necessarily going to the gym, but say, I don't know, you take a hike or something like that you can do together. And like working out increases, your endorphins or something like that.
Can we hike through Neiman's?
The point being,
that'll increase endorphins on my end.
The point being, for some couples, that may be exciting, right? Like, let's take this new trail we've never taken before, or this hike up the mountain.
That's when you found a panther you didn't know was living there, and now you're running for your life. That's real spicy.
But this is why you have to know yourself, and I even say know your spouse, because in your case, Miss Bree, you guys obviously will not be working out together to spice things up. But there may be another couple.
Well, that's not true. Because we could do like a role play where like he's like the trainer and like I'm the new sign up person at the gym, the new signee or whatever, and he's trying to like train me.
Well, there you go.
And like he's like, you gotta, no, you're doing it wrong, and he tries to like show me how to do it right, and he gotta like grab my booty or something. Like that could work. So we could still kind of use that. I see what you're saying.
But the point being, Mr. Bree would know to role play going to the gym as opposed to actually going to the gym.
Yeah, no, he knows better than that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. A date night. Would a date night work for you guys? If you had to spice it up, or is that too boring?
I was about to say, to me, that's almost not spicy enough, because we go out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think under normal circumstances, we go out and make dinner, movie, whatever, date night. But lately, since there's been no date nights for us, that would be extremely spicy.
Yeah. Listen, if you need me, I will be more than happy to sit with Sweet Pea for you anytime. You just call it. But so maybe if you can't actually go out, you could role play like you're going to the movies. And maybe like you dropped your popcorn and he works at the movie theater.
She's really trying these role plays.
I'm just saying. And your baby's little enough to where you can just put her, down, and it doesn't matter what she hears. She won't know what this is. So there you go for people with newborns that need a little spice.
There you have it. All right. This was actually a suggestion from Mr. CJ. And he said, take a trip outside of your comfort zone.
I really like that. I like that for a lot of reasons. One, our thing that we love to do is travel. So that's on board with that. But number two, going someplace that maybe we wouldn't have thought of going before will kind of force us to work together to make it a good experience. You know what I mean? And then if it turns out to be a shitty experience, we have to rely on each other.
Right.
So it kind of forces closeness is what I'm getting at.
Now, mind you, outside of your comfort zone does not mean unsafe.
No. no,
it just
that's not what I
means
meant.
right. I just didn't want the listeners to think we meant like
Spelunking or
you
something.
know.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Go skydiving.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there might be.
Actually, I
Something.
do want to
Yeah.
skydive one day, but I'll never bungee jump.
Huh. Somebody else told me that. I don't understand that.
Because you honestly have a better chance of survival from the skydiving.
They're both scary to me.
Than if the bungee rope is too loose.
Yeah. Both of them scare
There's
me.
actually, you can look it up. There was a chick, she went skydiving. She was pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. Not only did she survive, but so did the baby.
Oh,
Skydiving?
Yeah, she was skydiving and the parachute never opened. She on the ground.
Oh,
No way.
Broke a whole bunch of bones in her body, but she lived and so did the baby.
Oh wow.
How's that possible?
You gotta read her story. You can Google it.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
Googleable. It's legit story.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. But yeah, taking a trip outside of your comfort zone.
So maybe doing something that neither of you have done before.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Or
Just
that you
doing-
wouldn't normally do. So
Like what though?
I know I'm trying to think of an example.
so like for instance, on our couples retreat,
Uh-huh.
we normally do things like the beach
Uh-huh.
or the beach.
Yeah, I'm like, wait.
or the beach. So I know at one point in time we talked about going to, was it Washington? Where were we going?
So one point in time
Oh,
we had a
Gatlinburg?
trip to Gatlinburg. And then something
Gatlinburg.
happened. And then we were shooting around like Portland. Or,
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And then that didn't happen. So hopefully this next one, which is supposed to be someplace different, happens.
Right.
But I just keep wanting us to go skiing. I really want that to happen.
Well,
That would be a trip
Yeah.
outside of our
Yes,
comfort
because
zone.
I've never been skiing. I think that'd be so great. And I think it would accomplish the things I just said, like as far as like, all of us kind of being forced to, get closer. I think it would really do that. And it's great memories,
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know I think people falling is hilarious. So
Can I tell them why that's really
no,
fun?
we'll say that for another
Okay.
podcast.
Well, if you went to high school with Miss CJ, you'll know why that's real fun. Anyways.
All right. Another one is to hold hands and be romantic at home. So, I mean, these are two separate things, but I just lumped them together.
What if you already do that? And it still feels boring.
Well, if if you don't, obviously these are things if you don't already do it. So the whole point is to make you be a little bit more romantic. So if you're not like a hand holder out in public, having somebody hold your hands and public affection may be different and a little
So
spontaneous.
can you like up the ante? Like, okay, so we want to spice it up, but we already handhold. So can we just like full on make out in public?
If that does it for you,
Like get the cops called on you.
it might be a little inappropriate, but if that's what, gets your gears going.
Just get the Oh my god! Next time y'all see us and we're all together, I'm gonna just like jump on him just to make everybody feel really awkward. And I'm like, we're spicing it up.
It'll probably make him feel really awkward.
That would also be funny to me. You like watching people laugh. I like watching people die inside.
What?
You like the shock factor?
Yes, I do.
I like that sometimes too, though.
Funny. Oh my god.
So another one that Mr. CJ brought up was to bring back some of the old activities that made you fall in love. So some of the things that maybe you did when you first started dating that you don't do anymore or have fallen off because you're too busy, you have kids, it just never crossed your mind. To think about some of those things and to reincorporate it into your relationship.
Can I just tell you that this is a topic that we talked about in our pre-Cana before we got married with our priest. And this was specifically a question he asked to all the couples in the room. And the question was, how would you keep your wife feeling like a new bride every day? And the guys were like, I'll take her on romantic dates. I'll buy her flowers and presents and give her massages, which are all good ways to also spice things up. My husband said, I'll let her put the dress back on. Now, you saying going back made me think that somewhere my husband's listening to this like, see, that's what I'm talking about. She put the dress back on. All the feelings come back. It's like pushing the reset button. Put the damn dress on. I was so embarrassed. He watched me die inside in that moment in front of our priest. And our priest just had a face like, what? I don't get it. I want to be like, I don't get it either, Father. I don't get it either.
So, for instance, one of the things Mr. CJ did when we first started dating and he was trying to win me over is he would cook. Mm-hmm. I could not tell you the last time Mr. CJ has touched a pot. Sorry, Mr. CJ. But
no tea, no shade. If Mr. Bree cooks for me, I would think he's trying to kill me. Number one, he cannot cook. Number two, he doesn't. So I would kind of be like one eyebrow up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, thanks. I'm not even thankful. You know, that kind of thing. But that's a good one for Mr. CJ, though. That'd be really sweet. I'd imagine just knowing him that he'd have like some old school music playing in the house and he's dancing around the kitchen. Right? He grabs you, y'all do a little
two-step in the kitchen.
That'd be so sweet. What about you, Elle?
Well, see, for us, we used to always go, we met in the pool hall. Well, through a mutual friend, that's where we went.
At a honky tonk. A
pool hall.
BB King.
And we were shooting pool.
How old are you again? Just wondering.
Anyway.
Keep going.
I know I was about to answer it. Anyway.
I know how old you are.
So going to shoot pool would be something. Because, I mean, our first, 3 dates, we might have been going to shoot pool. But we haven't done it since,
But would you
11 years in?
Like, oh, I don't know how to shoot pool. So he could get up close behind you with his pool stick.
I guess.
No, you didn't do that. You was really playing, weren't you? See, come on, y'all. We be missing opportunities.
But yeah,
First
that would
off,
be something sweet, you know.
That was the independent woman in Mrs. L at the time. She was like, I'm not about to let him beat me just because I'm a girl and I'm supposed to be helpless.
Which, don't get me wrong, like the independent woman in me is like, damn straight. But on the other side, I'm like, we're talking about, spicing up the relationship. You gotta be like, oh, this big stick, I can't hold it. Can you help me? I mean, the pool cue. See, get y'all minds out the gutter. I meant the pool cue.
So yeah, going back to things that you did in the beginning of the relationship. Yeah, I like that idea. Unfortunately, the pool hall we met at is torn down.
Oh.
That was really sad when we tried to go back to it and it was gone.
I got it. What's there? Is anything there? Or is
No,
it just flat?
it's just a lot.
Just have a picnic in the spot where y'all met.
Which brings me to my other thing I was going to say. Also kind of doing things for your spouse that you may not like. Like you may not like or may not want to do, but doing it for them, and that might kind of spice things up a little bit. Yeah. Like for me, I have been dying to go on a picnic. I want to go on a picnic so bad, but my husband's like, who eats on the ground when you have a table? Oh. We have a perfectly good table at home. I'm not eating on the ground. But, if he wanted to do something to spice things up, that would sure spice it up.
Can I tell you that I'm right with you? I've always wanted to take a romantic walk through the park and then
wine and cheeses and what is it, charcuterie?
Yeah, we have the charcuterie with the wine.
I would love it.
He feeds me grapes and we lay out and the sun and the birds are just beautiful. That has never happened in my relationship. I don't think it's gonna happen because my husband, like your husband, feels like that is impractical as hell. We got a whole house to do that. What are we doing in the park? But sometimes it doesn't, really work out when you're trying to do something different and spontaneous. Like we went to go do the double bike where you can ride together. Did not quite work out. We were going up the hill and he was like, you gotta pedal hard. I just stopped because I couldn't do it anymore. So we just rolled on back and almost went straight into the street. He had to jump off the bike and grab it. Sometimes it doesn't really work, that going outside of your comfort zone, doing something. So just keep that in mind, too. My God, I haven't seen that. Oh, my God.
And he's fussing the whole way trying to catch the bike.
But it's a funny story that y'all laugh at.
Right.
And maybe sitting down reminiscing about it.
I'm not sure if he laughs at it. He might not.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I do.
I thought it was funny. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, as far as stuff we used to do in the beginning that we don't do anymore, I legit can't think of anything that we don't do anymore. Which is not saying we still do so much stuff. It's more so we didn't really do that much in the beginning. We just kind of spent all our time just like,
hanging out,
yeah, on the sofa,
enjoying each other's time and company.
Like Netflix and chill before we was really like Netflixing, because that was back when you had to like order the Netflix and they would mail it to you, you know, like that. So and we still do that. So that one wouldn't really work for us. But the doing something like out of your comfort zone thing, he really wants to go skydiving, and I'm wrapping my brain around it. And we'll go, not today, and not tomorrow, but we'll go.
But I just want to say too, there's all kind of like little games and stuff, like physical games that you can buy on like Amazon or wherever, like couples games, and that for me, I love stuff like that because that kind of, we have a game where it's literally like questions to each other, and I've learned things, like we literally thought we knew everything about each other, like everything. There was nothing that we could tell each other that's like, oh, I never knew that. But with this game,
usually beat us when we do like newlywed games,
right?
So
all the time.
But with this game, we learn so much about each other, and it's just so fun. You know, it's like, oh, I didn't know that about you. I feel like that kind of spices things up a little.
So we bought a game on Amazon, and it was some dice.
Sexy dice.
Yes.
Oh,
but
gosh.
the first roll was lick ear. And it was just done after that. Because it basically was
Not the dice.
like a wet willy.
Oh.
I was like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to lick it.
These, like the cards that I'm talking about, aren't really even, they're not sexual. They're not even sexual.
No.
They're just.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I too tried to get a game off of Amazon to spice it up, and it didn't work for me. So.
All right. So some other simple things that I found in terms of spicing it up is get dressed up. So find a place that you can go that lets you get dressed up and dolled up and, feeling good about yourself. And
like both of y'all or just one of y'all? Well, I'm just asking because, I love to, get dolled up, but.
Are you spicing it up by yourself or?
So this is how it would go. I would have had a conversation, right? And unless I made a reservation at a really nice restaurant, he not gonna get dolled up.
So this is probably one of those times when you need to talk about it beforehand, and say, "Hey, babe, how about we both get dressed up to do something nice, as opposed to me getting dressed up and you telling me I look pretty and you're still wearing sneakers."
But then he gonna be like, "You mighty fancy for Popeyes, so maybe."
You are making this very difficult.
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you, because I know there's other men like my husband out there in the world.
Yeah, some people don't like getting dressed up.
He doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And some things he will do just for the sake of I want to do them, but some things he's like, that's silly.
But y'all go to fancy restaurants, so
and
he dresses up there?
No, he argues with me for those two, because he feels like if LeBron James can wear Jordans to go to Nobu, then he can wear Jordans to go to Carrabba's. Which he can wear Jordans to go to Carrabba's. I'm just saying. Like,
gotcha.
That's how he feels. Like, if Cam Newton can get away with this, why can't I get away with that?
So my response is always, I'm not married to LeBron James or Cam Newton.
Yeah. That's what y'all put on him. So he's like, wait, hold up. What you trying to say? And then you just walk away. See? Yep. I just gave y'all some game. Look at that. Don't really do that, because that might be an argument thereafter.
And then he'll never get dressed up and go to dinner.
Yeah. Tell that other man take you out.
All right. A few more before we get to the one Miss Bree wants.
The one I want.
Compliment your spouse. I think sometimes we don't even realize we get so comfortable with each other that we're not giving them compliments.
That's a good one.
This is one that I have to get better at.
Me too.
Your husband probably compliments the hell out of you.
He does. He does. But I don't. And not that I don't think these things. I just don't say them.
So you're my husband and I'm your husband, because I'm like, babe, you look really handsome today, or oh, you look so sexy. Give me them lips or something like that. I never get, and I'll really try, like put on a bra, make up everything, like looking good, and I get nothing. Nothing.
Say put on a bra,
because that means I'm going somewhere. Wait, can I tell y'all a quick little story to make y'all laugh? So my oldest son is 4, and he loves to not be stuck in the house, right? And I tend to not have on a bra if I'm just at home because it's just uncomfortable to me to have a bra on, whatever. So we're getting ready to go somewhere, and the only part I had accomplished of getting dressed to go somewhere, and I never told him we were going somewhere, was I put on a bra. He saw my bra, and he went and found all his clothes, put on his shoes,
Oh, that baby
grabbed
said,
his
yes.
jacket.
We going out.
Right?
We going out.
And my husband was like, that's a damn shame. That baby said, oh, she done put them titties up. We finna go somewhere. I was like, oh my God.
Now, if only Mr. Bree would do that.
See? Exactly. Take a page out the baby book.
See?
But anyways, but back to what y'all was saying. I just had to.
Do something
That's
just
funny.
because. So I guess more along the lines of being spontaneous. Like just no real reason, no real holiday, no real occasion. Just do something special.
So something that I do often, but it doesn't really necessarily translate into like spicing up, is like I'll bring him something that's his favorite thing.
Mhm.
You know, like his favorite pastry or
Aw.
drink or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's more so like that's me talking in my love language as opposed to trying to spice it up, because he'll
Yeah.
be grateful for it, but then we still gonna sit on the sofa later and not do nothing. You know, like
Yeah.
And maybe different people respond differently, because when I'm thinking about these things, spicing it up sounds like, oh, it's getting heated in the bedroom. But that's not always the case. It's just things that give you like that warm, fuzzy feeling that make you want to be, be around them a little bit more or hug them a little bit more. So for me, having my husband do something just because it's like, oh, babe, like, let's cuddle or whatever the case may be.
That's because yours does that kind of stuff. That's not how mine operates. Like, no tea, no shade. I'm not trying to like.
Right. I was just saying, I think because we're talking about spicing it up, we automatically think it's supposed to get right. Yeah. Whereas that may not be.
Well, no, when I said, and then we just gonna be sitting on the sofa later, I didn't mean like, and we're not gonna have sex. I just meant, and we're not gonna do anything interesting.
like nothing spicy.
Right. It's still gonna be the same TV show.
It's like, I gave you a gift and now it's still not spicy.
We're still watching Cops and Shark Tank on, like that kind of stuff. Is what I
like
meant.
the routine doesn't break.
Change.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant. I wasn't trying to say like, I gave you a gift, now where's my sex? Because also, I don't agree with that, because there's a lot of guys who operate that way.
Yes, there are.
Like, I'm taking you to Roots, you better be giving me something. And it's like, pause. You know,
right, it doesn't work that way.
If you took me to Roots because you just want to give me a nice date, thank you. If we have sex later, we have sex. The two should not be related.
Right.
So I wasn't trying to say like me giving him like his favorite oyster po' boy was in exchange for me wanting to get some later. I'm just saying like it won't break up the routine necessarily.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then the last one is to have sex. So if that's something that you guys have not been doing, or, it's been a while.
Well, it's not even so much about the frequency. Sometimes it can be like the sex. Like if you could set your clock by each portion of the sexual activity down to like the minute. It's 3 minutes of this, and then he's gonna do that, and then he's gonna do that, and then it's 3 minutes of that, and then he's gonna move to this position, and then it's gonna be over. Like that kind of, you know what I mean? Like that kind of boring, monotonous routine. Again, breaking up the routine. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be we don't have it, because y'all could be doing that 5 days a week. It could still be boring. It could still be a rut. You know what I mean? Like you gotta spice it up. And sometimes that's as simple as a role play.
Right.
Or a game, an actual sex game.
Yeah, not the question cards.
Right. Or a new piece of lingerie or something like that. Or a tutorial on a new activity. They have them on the internet. You can Google it. Like, I'm not even talking about like watching porn. I mean, literally, like there's tutorials on how to do certain sexual activities. And he might be like, whoa, you never did that before. Or, like that kind of thing. Like, that's really cool. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Or, this is not working. And y'all bust out laughing about it. It still accomplishes the goal of changing it up, is what I'm saying.
Massages and oils.
Yes. Which Let me just give y'all a little tip. Ladies, get your massage first. Because if you do them first,
goodness.
he going to sleep. Every time.
Yeah. So I guess it depends, like in this instance, what applies to your relationship. Because I do know some couples that will say when we find that we have gotten in a rut and, you know, we are just roommates and we have not been intimate in a while, having sex kind of breaks the ice and helps us to get back to us. Whereas, like you said, if y'all are doing it all the time already and it's just blah and boring, changing things up
Right, which
or introducing something
I'm
new.
not trying to like shade people who have the same kind of sex all the time. I recognize that comes from knowing your partner really well, excuse me, and knowing what they like, what they don't like, kind of, you know, the best way to accomplish the goal or whatever. Once you learn that person's buttons, it's hard to resist punching the combination every time. You know what I mean? But even though you may be satisfied, you may still yearn for a change up, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I didn't take it as you shading them at
No,
all.
but I'm just saying, you know, not to say like the sex is blocked, because I mean, you can still be, you know, enjoying it.
But for some people,
it just,
you know, for some people, it does get like the same thing does become boring and monotonous. Not saying that, again, you know, not saying that I thought you were shading people.
Right.
I'm just saying for some people, they're like, oh, you know, we reached the end goal, but it was the same thing. We want to switch it up.
right. And I think for married couples, though, I think it's particularly difficult because at a certain point, you will have been having sex with that person for so long, and you know how to get them to the finish line. They know how to get you to the finish line. It's hard to resist, especially because you're tired. You're like, if we get this over with, even though I'm enjoying it, I can have a little more sleep. Or we only got 10 minutes till I got to take the dino nuggets out the oven and the kids going to bust in here wondering what the hell we doing. Like, no, it comes down to that.
Right.
So you're like, all right, this is the combination to open the lock. Bam.
Right. Boom, boom, bam.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you're doing that every time, even though you're enjoying it, it can still be kind of boring. Especially when there's so much out there as far as like ways you can explore each other. You know, there's a lot of stuff you might like, don't even know you like it because you never tried it because you do X, Y, Z and you're done.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, so definitely, you know, spicing it up in that way is also one of the ways you can do it. But also, the monotony with your sexual relationship can be a byproduct of being in a rut elsewhere in your relationship. And so sometimes, like you were saying, the sex could be the trigger to spice it all up. Sometimes the other stuff might be the thing that spices up the relationship and then fixes the sex.
That's very true. Yep.
Yes.
So that's my 2 cents on it.
Anything else that we could do to spice it up that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, I just have to say this, as far as like spicing things up sexually, stay away from things that you know are your partner's hard nose.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't know your partner's hard nose, have that conversation.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
You should have had that conversation a long time ago. Just, yeah, that's not spicing it up. That'll really kill it.
Right. Recipe
to really mess stuff up.
Right. Right. For sure. And I will say this. I have to get better about not getting in the way of my husband's efforts to spice things up. Because I think sometimes I can self-sabotage because I'm tired. I just don't feel like it. I'd much rather get in bed and go to sleep early. You know, it could be something like, let's go on a date. Like, let's find somebody to keep the kids and go out to dinner. Or there's this event going on tonight. Do you want to go? And plenty times I've been the Debbie Downer. And like, I'm tired. So I do know I have to be better at accommodating my husband's attempts to spice things up. Because I see them, babe, don't stop. I just have to be better about accepting the invitation.
And let me tell you, as somebody who would be more likely to be the person to spice it up and be met with a little bit of resistance, that can mess with your self-esteem over time. So, like, just keep that in mind. Because, like I tell you all the time, you're a lot like my husband, and I'm a lot like yours. And, you know, I'm the one that's always like, you know, let me do this, let me do that, let's do this, let's do that. And he's a very hardworking man. I know he's tired. I know he values and appreciates his rest and his sleep and stuff. And I think he's just happy that he's able to fulfill his duties and come home to his wife and kids, and he doesn't necessarily need all the rigmarole that I feel like I need in a relationship, you know? So sometimes constantly being like shot down, it hurts a little in my heart.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I feel you, Mr. CJ, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm kind of really hard to surprise. Because I'm like, well, why are we doing this? What are you doing? What
You can say you're nosy. It's fine. He already said you're nosy.
And not just that. I just like
You just
I'm like,
need to know.
He'll say, "Oh, hey, this didn't happen, but I just saw this on something online or something." And they put out the dress and they're like, "Put this on, babe, and I'll take you on the date."
That.
If he did that with me, I'll be like, "Well, what size is this? What are you doing? Is this dressy enough? Is this So I kind of have that I need to like kind of work on, because I think he would love to like just do something spontaneous and fun, and I'm always like, well, what about this? What about that? What is this? And yeah,
that is like one of my
too many questions
to like come home and he has the dress out and like the shoes and everything. He's like, put this on and be ready for 7. And then he surprises me, takes me somewhere really nice. Like there was a guy who did that and he surprised a girlfriend and they went to Chinese. I'm sorry, not Chinese Laundry. That's a designer. It was a French Laundry, which is a restaurant in Napa. They lived in LA, so he had to actually take a plane to get there. And it was just so romantic. And then if you know anything about French Laundry, they had those reservations for like months.
That's really, really, really popular.
Yes, they never knew.
All on
they
Food
met
Network.
the chefs, and like it was just so awesome. I would die if my husband ever did something that incredibly romantic. I think that's just not in his. I don't know. It's just not how he shows his love. Which, after like learning about love languages, I understand it. He shows his love by making sure I have a comfortable life.
Right.
By doing whatever he has to do to take care of me and the kids and our family and our lives and like that kind of stuff. Which is, what more could I ask for? But it just doesn't translate into like romance and spice for me. So I get it. I wish you happened to me too. If you're listening, Mr. Bree. In fact, if Mr. L listens to all of this, maybe he should like let the other guys know, like, yeah, this is what they talking about. This is what we need to do, so they'll shut up finally.
He's not there anymore.
He's not listening.
No, he's in the room.
Well, we know he won't hear it now because he don't.
He doesn't listen.
Yeah. There's that.
All right, so acknowledge that it needs to be spiced up. Do some things to spice it up. And then don't interfere or get in the way of having things be spiced up.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds great.
You know what else is something really easy you could do to spice it up that your partner would probably really appreciate? Just take an interest or be a part of something that they really like that you don't.
Yeah, definitely.
Like how you said before about like the video games and stuff. Like,
I
think really appreciate that.
Yeah, he would love if I just said, "Well, let me play. Show me how to play."
I'm telling you, what you gotta do is learn how to play it and like beat him.
I talked to him about that, and he said, "Please don't do that. You're gonna mess up my rankings." And that's exactly
that's what you said. He
would say. He's like, "No.
You know what? Get your own version. You got your own rankings."
I have to do my own avatar. Is that what it's called? The avatar?
Girl, you asking the wrong person. And when you get invited to a tournament, because your score is so high, then we gonna see. You trying to hate on us like we can't play video games. Anywho, y'all ready for the list of questions?
Yes.
All right, so this one is from Evie in New Orleans.
Hi, thank you
Evie.
for listening.
That's how you say
I love
Evie.
your name.
I'm assuming it's Evie, not Evie, but either are really cool names.
Yes.
I've always liked Evie from The Mummy. Y'all remember that movie, The Mummy? Remember the girl was Evie?
I remember the movie. I don't remember the characters.
Yeah,
she was Evie. Anyways, I just always loved how it sounded. We like your name, Evie. So she says, I dated a guy for 4 years and he always told me he didn't believe in marriage. I broke up with him because I always wanted to get married. I just saw that he's engaged to the girl he dated after me. I'm pissed. Was it my fault he picked her and not me? All right, so I'm jump right in here. It's absolutely not your fault.
No, indeed.
It's your fault. Like, you had to live your life to do and accomplish the things you wanted to do and accomplish. One of those was marriage, and he was basically telling you, for whatever reasons, you wasn't going to get it from him. So you moved on. I think that was the right decision.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a hard truth for us to to learn. But when people say that, because women say that as well, it may not mean they aren't looking for marriage or don't believe in marriage. It may mean that based on their current experience and their current relationship, marriage is just not in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was nothing that you could have done to change that. It was just the relationship probably in his mind was not working. And to be honest, in the long term, that's not who you would have wanted to marry, because he would not have treated you the way you wanted or needed to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And also, nothing against Evie. The next woman could have just been a better fit for him.
Right.
Not to say that Evie's not a great person and that there is a man who fits better for you. But that may have been where he decided, okay, I could totally see myself tied and committed to this person for the rest of my life, and maybe opened up to the idea of marriage. And then, you know, but that's no shade on Evie, and it's not her fault.
Yeah.
And it's not always the person. I mean, you know, like the person they're dating, sometimes they just have not matured enough, and they are not ready for that type of commitment. Mm-hmm. And so as they get older and more mature, something for them may change.
Yeah. And I mean, overall, not to sound extra cliche, but I mean, it just wasn't meant to be with you guys. I mean, there's somebody better out there for you, and he found someone for him, and you know, it just wasn't meant to be.
Now, you know, I always have to do like the other side of the card. They're engaged. That don't mean they're happy. That you don't know the circumstances within which he proposed to her. She could have given him like a crazy ultimatum or something and told him something like, if we're not engaged, you got to get out of my house. I mean, you don't know.
Right.
Never know.
Point. So don't worry about what they have going on. Just focus on you. You will meet the right person for you. That was
your
not
Prince Charming is out there.
Yes. There is no age limit on happiness. So don't feel like, oh, I wasted 4 years of my life with him and he got married a girl. Don't even dwell on that. Let them live their life. Wish them well. If you see them out, tell them congratulations and keep it moving, girl.
It's 4 years of a learning experience.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sure you come away with something, some lessons that life taught you in that 4 years. Like, just focus on that and go out and, your guy's coming. And he might not be the next guy, but he's coming.
Yes, for sure.
But don't worry about that. And they might get married and get divorced the next day, girl. You don't know. Just don't even worry about that.
But all that to say, it's not something you should feel bad about or you should be upset about. Not at all.
And think about it. What if he had bent and gotten engaged and got married to you just because you really wanted it, even though he didn't really want it, and did not behave as a person in a marriage?
Right.
And I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just saying someone who compromises and considers the other party and is unconditionally in love and supportive. And you know what I mean? Because that's not what he was looking for. He was just looking for, I don't know, sexual monogamy or, complacency as far as having somebody you can always hang out with. Or I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right. That's why I was saying, they would have gotten married and he wouldn't have treated her
the way she
wanted or needed.
To be treated.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not to say he's going to do that to the next chick.
Right.
So just.
Yep. Don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad at all. Because let me tell you, personal experience, girl, I got plenty of exes that moved on, married the right women. I'm so happy for them. But I got a couple of them. They was dogs to me. And let me just tell you this. Karma can be a way bigger bitch than you could ever be. I learned that lesson. I learned that. Anywho, we hope that helps, Evie.
Yes.
Oh, is it time for my quote?
Yes, it is.
This is the perfect quote for spicing it up. Okay. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Baby, I'm happy you're home. Let me hold you in my arms. I just want to take the stress away from you. Making sure that I'm doing my part. Boys, there's something you need me to do. If you want it, say the word. I know whatever I'm not fulfilling, no other woman is willing. I'm going to fulfill you mind, body, and spirit.
Let me cater to you.
Yes, that is catered to you by Destiny's Child.
Yes. A good way to spice it up, for sure.
Yeah.
A nice little lap dance and some music in the background.
Y'all remember, what was it, the BET Awards? When they did the lap dances, I thought Terrence Howard was going to have an accident in his pants. Because the
Who was
look
dancing
on
with
his-
him? I don't remember.
Beyonce.
Oh, it was me. Okay.
The look on his face, like he was serious. I think Kelly
He rather was
with
focusing on
Nelly.
not having an accident.
Maybe.
Right? And you could tell, like, he was taking it just in good fun. And then Michelle was with Magic Johnson. And I was like, Magic, a whole man.
Right?
His wife is right there. But
That
I
was
guess,
probably
you know,
uncomfortable.
Right. But I guess
I mean,
taking it in stride.
Beyonce's married. And...
She wasn't in.
Oh, she wasn't?
Yeah, not when
this
it
was, girl, this
Oh.
was way,
years
I
ago.
thought.
this was way long
Okay.
time ago. Terrence thought he had a shot still. Is what I'm saying. I mean, she was dating Jay at that point, but
They weren't married
Yeah,
yet.
no.
Okay.
And girl, Terrence, either he was concentrating on not letting it happen, or he was just trying to feel every part of
Probably the
moment.
first one.
Because Lord, y'all like go back, Google them videos. It's hilarious. He was just living his life on that stage in front of all of America.
To replay over and over and
I was
over.
about to
again.
say, he probably replays that constantly.
He was
I
probably like,
dance.
he was probably like Beyonce, man. You know, man. I'm just saying, man. Let me holler at you, man. I love Terrence Howard. Anyways, of course, y'all know I love Beyonce. But yes, catering to your partner is a great way to spice it up.
Yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. If you have comments, questions, or concerns, or you just want to say hi, you can reach out to us at for Mrs. and a Mike at gmail.com.
Mrs. and the mic.
Oh, you're right. You're
And
right.
I didn't mess her up that time. See?
Sorry, guys. It's Mrs. and a Mike. However, if you email for Mrs. and a Mike, we
We'll
will
still
still
we'll
get
still
it.
get it.
We'll still get it. But it's Mrs. and a Mike at gmail.com. You can also reach us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Mrs. and a Mike. This is CJ.
Before you
It's
sign
L.
off, wait, real quick. I just want. Can you say Twitter again for me?
This is CJ.
It's L.
Because you're like, and Twitter. And I'm just like, everybody else is like Twitter. It's just like, and Twitter.
Can you say Anne Brie and we can close this out, please?
I don't know. Can I? She's going to throw
All right.
something at me, y'all. Okay, bye.
See, I was just gonna. You didn't even say Anne Brie. I'm just gonna edit it in.
Chauncey. Edit it in. And breathe.
Bye.
Bye.